Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Making Waves at Sea Level. My name is Thom Singer, and I've been hosting this podcast now for 8 years. We're at over 750 episodes, and we've shifted up the format. Lately, I'm doing a couple episodes a week that are just me talking to you about something I've experienced that I think maybe there might be a nugget of advice involved. So as many of you know, I run a small local technology association in Austin, Texas. And in the last 10 months, I have had the honor to be able to meet with about 150 civic leaders, technology leaders, entrepreneurs, etc. And I am a really big believer that community, collaboration, and conversations, heck, those three things can solve all problems. You've probably heard me say it on this podcast before. Certainly, if you listen to the Austin Tech Connect podcast, which is the official podcast of the Austin Technology Council, you've heard me say it in every single episode that community collaboration and conversations can solve all problems. And if everyone who worked in Washington, D.C., in our capital, all of our elected officials, congressmen and senators, if they had to every day enter the Capitol building and live by the words community, collaboration, and conversations with everyone else who worked in that building, our lives would be a lot better and our government would run a lot smoother. But they don't operate that way. In fact, if you really look at where the Republicans and the Democrats have gotten, they work just the opposite. And I don't think we can fix it. I don't think any congressman is going to listen to this podcast. I just don't think a single one will. Certainly not a senator. And if they did, they would pay, this person is just a peon. They're just those little people who get in our way and, have to elect us. But other than that, we don't care what they think. They actually operate the opposite way. They operate under the idea that the other side is horrible and it's all about my team. How does my team crush the other team? And then within the parties, they do the same thing. But I've had the honor of meeting with a lot of people in my community who really want to see the community thrive. The technology community is made up of innovators, and they're out there looking to make things happen. So wherever you live, if you're running a business, if you're in the C-suite of a company, does your company have the thought that we're part of this bigger community? Even if you don't sell your product and services in the community, your employees live there. They educate their kids there. So you have to be focused on how do we fit into the community and what does our company do to support the community? Your company should be supporting causes. You should be belonging to your chamber of commerce. You should be supporting an industry group that helps your community grow because community is so important and you're not separate from your community. Even if many of your workers are remote, you still have people in the city you live in. So that's the first part. It's community. The second thing I find is a lot of people are really pro-collaborating. They want to create things together with other organizations. I'm currently working with the Chamber of Commerce, with the Austin Venture Association, and with other groups to try and create some new programs to support their events that are coming up. And hopefully they'll support mine. When we collaborate, we all win. This idea of everybody being your competition, that is so yesterday. And then finally, conversations. Conversations are the heart of how we build connections. It really is what people are all about. When we can sit down across the table from people, find out what their hopes and dreams are, how they got to where they are, how they were able to create the business that they created or get to the point in their career that they've reached. You can really hear them. We learn a lot. And then when they ask us questions and we can talk about our hopes and dreams, we can learn from each other. So community, collaboration, and conversations are so important. And I hope as a leader that you already live by those three words, but not everybody does. I had a conversation with a very young entrepreneur who I wanted to join the association that I work for. And it was only going to cost, I don't know, like $1,500 or $2,500 for his company to belong. And he looked at me and said, well, why would I give you that kind of money? How do I 10X that money? I was like, I don't understand. And he goes, I don't put money anywhere unless I can 10X it. This guy had drank a little bit too much of the Gary Vee and the Grant Cardone Kool-Aid. Now, I'm not against Grant Cardone or Gary Vee. Hey, they make a lot more money than I do. They have huge followings. People genuflect when they walked by, and that is awesome. However, if everything you do is what's in it for me, our communities can't thrive. We can't lead with, I won't support you unless you can 10X me. My thought was, how do you 10X me? It doesn't work that way. We can't lead with what's in it for me in every conversation we have. If you think that everything you do has to be 10x, you are going to be disappointed because the world doesn't work that way. In reality, we need to support other people. And it's not always just about money. This person had a lot of money and could have easily supported the organization. And that's awesome that they chose not to. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. The mission of the organization I work for isn't for everybody. And as we're looking to change and grow and come up with the new direction for the organization, some people want to wait on the sidelines to see what we're going to do. Totally awesome. But think about when you meet people, do you meet people and say, ha ha ha, how can I get something out of them? Or when you meet somebody, do you think, wow, how can this be a long-term and mutually beneficial relationship? Because when we enter into relationships, knowing that sometimes you'll win, sometimes I'll win, we've got each other's back and we'll help each other, that's awesome. I also know a person who's kind of a social climber. She's always looking for who can better deal me, who can 10x my life. And yeah, she helps other people and that's fine. But if somebody doesn't totally fit the box that makes, where she can grow and how she can grow her reputation and her online brand, she dumps them. She pushes them out. And it's really well known in the extended group of people that she's only going to be your friend for a while unless she can get something from you. You know what? That's fine. That's great. She's got more money than I do. She's going to be more successful. Cool. I don't want to use people and I don't want to look at people as what can they do for me. I think we have to get back to this idea of long-term, mutually beneficial relationships and really thinking about community. Now, you could point out the fact that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is all about 10xing everything else out there. Awesome. But my advice is step back and ask, if everything I had, if all the money evaporated tomorrow, if all the fame, if all of the prestige, everything was gone, if my family was gone, if my friends were gone, and the only thing left was the reputation of what people I had encountered over the last 5 years thought of me, and that was the currency, where would you be? I would like for all of us to have that currency be, I'm here to serve, I'm here to help. I hope that we can create win-win situations. That would be the currency I would want about me. And I think most of us really would like to know that in some way we've touched and helped other people. So this episode of the show is really about me encouraging you to take a step back and ask yourself, what can I do today where I will not lead with what's in it for me, but I'll lead with how can I touch the life of somebody else? In fact, if you go to a networking event today, after you listen to this, go in not thinking, who can I meet that I could make a sale to? Or who could I meet who could introduce me to a new client? But instead, go into that networking event with the idea of who could I meet who I could help? If you just did that one day a week, the other 6 days, you can be however you want to be. You can be a little bit of a mix. You can be all about 10xing everything in your direction. But one day a week, you found a way to say, how can I impact the lives of others? And I'm not going to think about myself today. I think our whole society would win. So that's my little thought for today. I get a little annoyed about people who dump people because they can't provide anything for them. So friendship is only based on how can you help me? Or people who think every time they meet somebody, it's like, what's in it for me? Why would I give you any support or money or time? I'm just getting tired of it. And so I bring this to you. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think I'm overreacting? Go ahead. Email me, tom@thomsinger.com. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, wherever you're getting this podcast, be it on Apple or Spotify or YouTube, etc. And let me know your thoughts. I think we should start a movement that just one day a week, we look for ways not to lead with our own needs, but to look for ways to help others. I think we have a better society. So what did you do today to add to community collaboration and conversations to uplift the people around you? Hopefully you have an answer. All right, tune in a couple of days. We'll be back with another episode. Again, this is Making Waves at Sea Level, my podcast. This is totally just my place to rant and think, but I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Thank you. Have a great day.